Well, guys, there's a video request from Michigan Farming. Wanted to do a little talk about the 135, Ferguson 135. When we had the dairy, this thing scraped a lot every single day. Took about an hour and a half if it was soupy. We'll start off by my papa bought this thing in 1967, brand new. He also bought the Ford 5000 brand new. So these are one owner tractors. Both of those two are. He was using an H and a steel wheel plow, and he was trying to plow sod with it. Couldn't get anything done. And at this point, he'd been milking cows for a little while and said, "I'm tired of fighting that thing. I'm going to get a new tractor." And he wanted I think he wanted the 165, but at the time, I don't think he could afford it, so ended up getting this one. They brought it out, hooked it to a plow, and this thing would run circles around that H, plowing. It's the Ferguson system, the 3-point system. I've had this off and fixed a lot of stuff in there. I put new steel rings on the cylinder, the lift cylinder inside. It's a very complicated setup in there, and it took me about 3 days to get it figured out. But it has a Continental gas engine in it. If you see, this fender is yellow. It's not original. A lot of you all know that, well, some of you know, but we started farming on another farm. My great-grandpa bought that farm in 1935 and milked cows on it. And an F4 tornado hit it in 1974. I think it was April the 3rd. It was a direct hit and destroyed everything, and all the equipment was in the barns, and didn't affect the 5000, slung the grinder mixer down the hill. The barn fell on this. A place in Louisville, Kentucky, I think it was called Parish, what Dad said. We sent this tractor over, and insurance fixed it up. And they got a big order on these yellow fenders, and they painted them red. And, well, a lot of that's didn't come off, but it's been through a tornado. So is the 5000. So, we set tobacco with it. The old tobacco setter is sitting down there in the weeds. You can see the tank on it. We set a lot of tobacco with it, scraped a lot with it, did all the field cultivating with it. My papa said he used to pull a chopper with this thing in a wagon. That's pretty impressive. They're pretty powerful little tractors. I really like them. The steering gearbox has been rebuilt, and it's got play in it again. In 1998, my brother jumped on this tractor with a hit pin in his hand and busted the tack out. Had about 7,000 hours on it then. I'd say it's got well over 10,000 in it, on it right now. This thing runs really good, but the governor's starting to get wore, and whenever you pull this down, this is like full throttle all the way back. And whenever you have it about right here, the governor don't kick in. The only governor it's got is you. You got to give it the fuel. So the seat's been out of this thing for a long time. Now this is the first tractor I learned how to drive when I was a little kid. I couldn't even push the clutch down because I wasn't heavy enough, so I'd have to grab a hold of the steering wheel and stand down on the clutch and shift gears. I first learned how to scrape a lot when I was a kid. I was pretty small. I had to run it in low. I put a new, it's got a new regulator on it. I already did some wiring on it. Wiring's pretty old, obviously. Had a guy rebuild this generator. It's got a new generator on it. Now the exhaust is supposed to come down out the back, and whenever we set the back of the people that were on the setter, all they smelled was exhaust fumes. So we put a turret up on it and come up here. The reason why it goes down like that is because it's got a gas tank right here. Now I think on the diesel models the exhaust comes on up, so I don't know. I have some, my papa bought this farm in 1975. After the tornado hit that farm, this farm was ready to go and working. And instead of rebuilding, they built everything on that place, had a sawmill and everything, and so we ain't doing all that again, so they just bought this, and it was kind of run down, but it had everything you needed to milk cows. Oh yeah, here's a grain drill Dad bought. It's in here because the gearbox went out of it. Here's a book. I think probably had some of the records of the tractor in the shop, and it probably blew away with the tornado because 83 was the record on it. So a lot of stuff was probably lost. Now there's an overhaul here. That was in 96. It was 83. In 1983, it had 3,700 hours on it. But we just kind of try to keep up with it on the yearly thing. We don't use as much as we used to, but no, we still scrape a lot and stuff with it. But it's a pretty good tractor. The hydraulics, the lift arms on ours were getting really wore. But that thing has gone up and down probably 1,000,000 times scraping a lot. An hour a day, and it would scrape all that concrete up there and push it into the lagoon. And doing all of, running the cultivators through the fields and setting the baca and bush hogging and all that stuff. I think we even used to pull Sal's wagons with it. It's got the power adjust wheels on it. But anyway, that's a little video on the Ferguson. Thanks for watching.